Hi everyone, so today I'm going to be making over the dolls from the Sweet Sunday Surprises haul video. So the dolls and the play sets and things that I'm going to be cleaning in this video were actually free. Someone from down the street put a bunch of this stuff out for free, probably because they were cleaning their garage or their basement or something, and there was a mother load of things. So that's what I'm going to be cleaning, and I'm going to show you the dolls and the stuff. So these are the dolls. They were in various states of dress and undress when we first got them home, but due to like the identification process and writing down body info and things, they're all naked right now. So we have two 2009 Mermaid Tail Barbies. This doll was sold in the blue bathing suit. This one was sold in the pink bathing suit. 2009 I Can Be Race Car Driver Barbie. Her body, as you can see, is super discolored and her hair is really gluey. 2012 Kid Pix Barbie. She's got some crazy hair. This is 2010 Toy Story Hawaiian Vacation Barbie, and her bangs have been cut and her hair is super gluey. This is 2011 Princess and the Popstar Kiara. She was a basic doll sold with a guitar, so not like the singing, transforming one. Palace Wedding Jasmine, who's the oldest doll, and you can see her hair is like really contorted. She was probably purchased secondhand by the child who owned these things before us, which is why she's like the outlier here. That happens sometimes. Then we have 2009 Sparkling Princess Tiana, Cinderella, and then this is Sparkling Princess Belle from 2009. These are a ponytail Chelsea and Madison, and cool thing, I actually only had one other Chelsea doll before this, Sisters Train Taffy Chelsea, who was also from a bin. So I'm pretty excited to have more of these. And then we have Disney Store Beast and 2010 Eric. He was the one in the wedding outfit. Really excited to have him. I remember wanting to buy him at the flea market a long time ago. And then we have a Mermaid Tail Ken from 2009. And then this is the Toy Story Hawaiian gift set Ken doll who goes with that Barbie. And you can see his head is separating. And then this is 2011 Kid Pix Ken. Over here, this is the house. This is the 2013 Dream House, and it has most of its furniture, if I'm not mistaken. There were also a few extras. So there's like this Cinderella carriage horse from 2011. It's a Disney Store horse, and it's pretty clean looking, but its hair is going to need some work. And as you can see, the house is kind of discombobulated right now. Like, there's a front door in here. It's pretty dirty and faded, which there's nothing I can do for like the discoloration, but that's okay. And this is like the bathroom area. This is just a 2007 bike. This is actually supposed to hook onto like a kid's bike, so Barbie can like ride the bike with you. And you can see like some of this is really quite dirty. And then there's the dining room, the kitchen, and then this is like one of the old school Volkswagens, which is disgusting on the inside. We actually have another one that was also in really bad shape, so like this is really discolored. And then these are the plastic pieces. These are the clothes we got, so quite a few clothes considering the number of dolls. And some of these things are like Shopkins baskets, but these would be really good for like sets and things we make for the dolls. There are color catchers in here too. Luckily none of this stuff is really stinky or like stained, so I'm just using like my regular homemade laundry detergent, but a lot of these items are going to need to be sewn or repaired in some way because their frames are falling apart. And then I'm going to put like a pretty generous amount of soap in here because I found like Play-Doh inside one of the saucepans that goes to the house. And then for some of the furniture pieces, I'm going to let them soak for a while, and they might need to additionally be scrubbed, but I'm going to put them in this really big container. This is from the $5 Bin Bonanza on my channel from 2017. It's like a really useful container despite not having a lid. So all of like the big loose pieces are going to hang out here. And then everything that's attached to the house is going to have to get like hand scrubbed separately. So I'm gonna put like soap in this too and get this soaking. So I have some of the dolls soaking here in the sink. The water kind of drains out fast, so they don't really soak very long. So, for I Can Be Race Car Driving Barbie, this lady, you can see her torso is literally yellow, and she's super duper loose. So I'm gonna get her, I already got her one, a body from storage. It's literally the same thing. She's just, this is how it's color better. It's even a China make, it's got the same panties. So while that water heats up, I'm gonna condition these two dolls and detangle their hair. Now normally, since they both have saran hair that's kind of on the shorter, thinner side, I would do another doll with them in the boil wash bowl. But since I need their heads to be really soft to remove them from their bodies, they're gonna go in by themselves. I'm also going to give this new body a bit of a little scrubby too, just so it's extra clean for Barbie. I cleaned it before I put it in storage, but I always like to clean the body donors again before my dolls use them. So before I put these two in, I washed Kid Picks Barbie really quickly because she has Connect Lawn hair, so I usually don't like have the Connect Lawn hair dolls soak. I just dunk them in really quickly in the boil wash a few times, just because of the nature of their hair. They don't really need to like soak for a long period of time. You can see that her once like wavy hair went straight. A lot of people ask me like if I intentionally make my doll's hair all straight or something. The answer is no. What it is that when it comes to saran hair or nylon hair, those types of hair do not change like form easily in hot water. You'd have to do like many super hot boil washes for a doll with like curly or wavy or textured saran hair to go straight. Connect Lawn hair, on the other hand, is much more pliable. So just from like a quick dunk, you can see her once very voluminous curly hair has gone straight. And honestly, like most of my dolls, like most of my Barbies, they live in containers in storage, and while they come out all the time, to have like curly Connect Lawn hair that gets matted and frizzy easily, it's not practical. And honestly, even when I have dolls on display, I just don't like the feeling of like curly Connect Lawn hair. So it goes straight in the boil wash on its own, and it's easier to keep this way. That's why a lot of my dolls have straight hair. It's just for practicality reasons and because I have like zero patience for the curliness. But if it's a saran hair doll, then their hair will stay curly. And with nylon hair dolls, I usually just flat iron it just for the sake of like the frizziness and keeping it nice. But it's not because I prefer the look of straight hair on dolls. It's more just I like that it's easier to keep on the more cantankerous hair types. We're getting it off. Their heads should be ideally squishier than this, but honestly, this body is so bad, and the neck knob is so loose and stuff, I'm not going to keep this like I originally planned. Because I have quite a few bodies like that in storage. So, and she's supposed to have like thatching back here, because her hair is styled in 2 ponytails. So I find that if you just kind of run your comb down where the parting is supposed to be, it separates on its own. Okay, so I'm going to clean the house. Normally I'd do this in the kitchen, but since there will be a little bit more room to do it in here, I'm gonna wash the house in here. Ideally, I'd want to do this in like a bathtub, but our bathtub doesn't work, and if any water drains out, it'll leak in the basement, so we don't want that. So I'm just gonna do it in here, and I got really, really soapy water, and I'm just gonna wipe everything down thoroughly, because this house is actually pretty dirty. Clearly hasn't been used in a while. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of like vinegar to kind of break up the soap suds. And then I'm just going to wipe them off. If this was like really dirty, I'd use baking soda, but I don't want to have any kind of like residue in here. And I also can't rinse this really well because it wouldn't fit in my sink, obviously. So Colleen is calling out my horsey friend here who had his bath, and I have to clean the Volkswagen, which you can see is like super scuffed and like disgusting. So this can't have like a surface clean like the house had. This needs like a deep clean. Like, oh my god, that back seat is so nasty.
Is crud coming out of it?
Oh god, yeah. Look at the crud.
Oh, well, come and take it outside.
It looks that way. There was a leaf in the house underneath the elevator where I found the knife. Really disgusting. And some people might think I'm crazy for like washing all of the pieces and all of the furniture, even if they look clean. But like the plastic pieces especially, because I added extra dish soap, they smell amazing, don't they?
Oh yeah.
Like they smell super clean. So.
Plus, like you don't want to put away things with stuff you already had and it's dirty.
Right, I mean I clean everything, so even if something looks clean, I'm not gonna like take the chance. And a lot of times it's actually the stuff that doesn't look that dirty that like ends up being the dirtiest, like turning the water brown. Just makes everything smell better, and then I know everything is clean. Like if this car wasn't squalid, I'd just surface wipe it because obviously it's hard for this to dry out easily. It takes like, you know, a good like solid day for everything to air out. See, baking soda is a miracle worker. Just getting all these nasty scuffs off with minimal effort, no harsh chemicals. You just have to rinse it really good or else it leaves a white residue. Okay, so before I can partially reroot this Barbie's bangs, which you can see have been cut, now normally I could just kind of remove this stubble and you wouldn't even know she was supposed to have bangs, but I would really like for her to have bangs, and some people are curious about how I partially reroot. So before I can do that, her hair is not wet. This is glue. Her head is so unbelievably sticky, so I don't even want to attempt to go in there and like reroot. And she actually had like a ball of glue, like, I don't know, about that big, that came out of her head. So I'm gonna soak her in some OxyClean for probably like till tomorrow, so that way her head isn't as like hard and gross. And I'm just gonna like put her head in like this since her body's already dressed up. And that also will probably help dissolve some of the stickiness from the inside of the head, which normally if I soak a doll, their head is on their body, so it's not getting inside and like cleaning out the inside. So that is something you can definitely try for a doll that's like really bad. Like, this is disgusting. My hands are sticky. Like, is this not disgusting, Colleen?
Oh, it is. It's gross.
So she's gonna need to like soak, and it smells awful. Are you and your mommy? Are you happy? Yeah, buddy.
You're so cute.
Oh, are you closing your eyes? Oh, yeah. So cute. Yeah, oh, it's a nice little body. Oh my gosh, both her eyes are closing. So nice.
She's so sweet.
It's so nice.
Little bunny.
Look at those little ears.
Little bunny.
Oh, you're so cute.
Little bunny.
Oh,
Little bunny.
you enjoying your little rubs? Yeah.
Sweet little bunny.
So cute, bunny. Yeah.
Next to the baby. So
it's been a week and a day since we got these dolls, and everyone is technically clean and dressed except Barbie needs a reroot, and these dolls need their hair done, and one of them is over here. The clothes are clean, the pieces are clean. You know, this room is kind of a mess. There were some dolls up for a photo shoot. There's some like doppelgangers, like duplicates we have, the old dolls that we're gonna need new pictures of. Like Merida over here got in her outfit and she'll need to be rephotographed. So the reason this video is taking so long to finish is because, first of all, I needed to stop procrastinating and stack all of our firewood, so pretty much all of my free time for many days last week was me stacking wood for 3 hours at a time. But that's all set and that's all good, and the wood stove was actually lit for the first time this year. But we hit a snag. We do not have hot water right now because, so it's really dark. This is our water heater. I came down yesterday and there was literally 2 inches of water all over here underneath the furnace. So I just finished labeling and bagging all of my new clothes. A few of these things aren't new. Like this Disney Store Snow White dress was on my old Snow White doll who just got her outfit. But most of these things are new, and there's some like cool Monster High pieces, some Fashionistas clothes, the Sprouts shirt. So lots of goodies that all needed to get put away. And some things are in the men basket and some things already have bags, but I have to go and bring those up. Okay, so time to partially reroot Barbie. So she is supposed to have bangs, and pretty like long, you know, banana bangs. Whoever owned her before me, you can see they've been cut down to a nub. I am going to add in some bangs for her. So I have hair. This is Platinum Blonde Saran by restoredoll.com. I have a whole video on how I reroot dolls if you want to know like where I get hair, why I get hair from there, etc, etc. And also like about the different hair types and what benefits or like negatives they have depending on what you are trying to get out of this finished product. But she has Saran hair, and that is like literally a perfect match. I always buy really generic colors anyways that I can use on a lot of different dolls. That's just how I go about doing it. So it's gonna be really difficult to, like, normally you would go in and like using a crochet hook or tweezers or something, try to like pull the hair out. But I don't want to pull out any of her long hair if I can avoid it, so I'm going to use these like needle nose pliers, and I'm going to try get a grip on her stubble and pull it out. Typically when rerooting, you want to remove all of the original hair, but obviously since this is a partial reroot, I have to only get a few select plugs, and I don't want to take any of the long hair out by accident. So that's why instead of going through her head and pulling hair out, I'm picking out the individual nubs here. But normally it's easier just to go in and scrape all the hair out from the inside of the head. It also doesn't help that she has a lot of glue in her head still. She's not actively leaking. She still has some like hardened bits that I need to take care of, but that's not helping. So if your doll has glue, it's going to take longer to get the hair out of the head. So I did my best to remove as many of the little short plugs with stubble as I possibly could, but because she has some like hardened glue, not like it's leaking that greasy substance, but it's just like very hard. It was impossible to get every single little bit out, but it's not going to be a big deal when I'm done. So what I do, and this is usually what I do when I partially reroot, because I don't want to make a bunch of like pre-knotted hair wefts to go in and then like waste them, because I don't want her to have like super duper long hair. So I have to cut this hair down to a more reasonable size. So I counted, she has about 12 hair plugs, and it needs to be about an even number because of the way I do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take about half of what I think I'm going to need, because if you double this up, that looks like it's going to be you know, a pretty good thickness for her bangs. Maybe I'll take a little bit more. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to like wet it in my bowl of water, because I just feel like that makes it easier to work with. And then I'm going to cut this in half, and then when I loop it in her head, it's going to be halved again. So this way, her hair is going to be like past her chin, which is still too long. That gives me plenty of room to decide like where I want her bangs to fall after styling, and it's long enough for me to work with, but I'm not like going to be cutting off a ton of hair. You don't want to like cut off a ton of hair and, you know, waste it basically. So I'm just going to go ahead and knot these in half like I normally would. And the reason I want 6 for 12 plugs is because one of these strands does 2 holes. If you watch my reroot tutorial, this will make a lot more sense, but basically the knot sits between the 2 hair plugs inside the head and holds the tension in place, so you don't need glue or anything to keep the hair in. And I have like a lot of dolls I've rooted this way, and they don't have any problems with like hair shedding. And I'm a pretty aggressive doll hairbrusher. And then that leftover bit, if I don't use it, I'll just like save it, because someone else might need bangs in the future. And then I'm just gonna carry on and like root her like I usually would by inserting the needle into her head, into the plug I want. Her head's a little bit more difficult to work with because of the glue. It's a little bit harder. And then I like to trim just like the very ends so it goes into the eye cleanly. I'm just gonna pull it up through her head, pull out one side, and then like I said, it'll be more than long enough. Most of the time with doll bangs, they're made longer than they need to be anyways because of how curly they are. So this is what Barbie looks like right now, a little crazy. And you can see that this is what her bangs are gonna look like. So I want her to have like a pretty prominent like banana bang. So I'm gonna cut her, this hair like right up to the top of her lip. So before I put her bangs in rollers and boil wash it into the style I want, I always like to wash the new hair because I've been handling it. And I'm going to wash her old hair too, just because I've been handling that as well. This will just get rid of like any of the oils that my hands might have transferred. And I'm sure that the hair is probably not that clean because I had it like sitting on the table. The next part is going to be putting her bangs in a roller so that they're curly. So I have like these, they're actually like curling papers, like perm papers. I have these because I went to cosmetology school. But you can use foil if you want, or tissue paper. This just helps keep the hair in place. Probably need to cut this in half, it's a little too big. Okay. And then I do have tiny rollers, but straws work really well for bangs. So I'm just gonna start at the end of the paper. And I'm gonna, oops. And then I'm gonna roll it. And I'm gonna take the bent part of the bobby pin, so this wavy part, and I'm gonna stick that so it's inside the straw. And then I'm gonna use it hold everything in place. I probably will need like a second one. And then I'm gonna heat up some water and dunk her bangs in. I don't need to give the rest of her hair a boil wash, but I'm gonna heat up her bangs. So to make this actually like a permanent style, I have to dunk it in boiling water. It's like a boil wash. I'm just putting her bangs in because the rest of her hair has been boil washed a few times, so she doesn't really need it. Now the key is when it comes to saran hair, which is what Barbie has, it is not as responsive to heat as say Kanekalon. So if you're looking to give a doll like really curly hair and a very like dramatic hairstyle, Kanekalon is a lot easier to work with. Saran hair requires like stronger heat and you need to let it soak longer. So it is very possible to give a doll, like make straight saran hair curly or make curly saran hair straight, but it takes more effort. So I'm just gonna like let her sit for a little bit. And I also have her body here to reattach. It's already dressed. Now depending on like how severe you want the curls or waves or whatever it is, if you leave the curlers in to dry, that'll leave like a very strong curl or wave. But I don't want that. I do want her bangs to be like curled under, but I'm not looking for them to be like Shirley Temple curly. So I'm gonna take this out. Because you see how like there's a little crimpy mark? So that's what we're gonna do. And then I like to like kind of wrap my comb around it. And smooth it that way. This is just diluted gel. It's like 2 to 3 squirts of gel mixed with warm water. And you can also set it with cold water. I'm just too lazy to bring Barbie over to the sink right now. Okay, there we go. So I'm gonna let her dry, and then obviously I'm gonna have to do like a little bit further styling with her bangs. when they're dry, like trim them up a bit so there's not all these little stray hairs. So this is what the dream house looks like, all clean and fully expanded. We have the closet, the elevator, the living room, and the little patio. The bedroom, and there's like a second bed underneath this. The elevator again, and then the bathroom. Then we have a little kitchen, the front doors, and the dining room. So this is it all folded up. The only problem when you fold it is that these posts don't move freely, so you kind of have to like force them. So I'm gonna get this ready for storage. This is a huge yard bag. And this is the Volkswagen. You can see that it's way cleaner. This was the dirtiest thing we got from the lot. So now I just have to baggie that in this bag. And if you're wondering how I covered up the dream house, one yard trash bag didn't fit because it couldn't like stretch over the width of it. So I cut two. So there's two bags, but I cut them, each bag, down one seam, and then I like opened them up and taped like the inside and the outside together, if that makes sense. So then it's like one ginormous bag. And then it is a little bit loose, so I just rolled up the extra and tied it with some twist tie and like tucked it under. Okay, so while I'm not going to show you all of the duplicated dolls from this haul, so like dolls I already had that are the same as the ones I just got, I am going to show you the ones that profited clothing wise. So this is my first original Disney Store Merida doll. I got her in the Disney Store bin of 2015, and she's got like the articulated ankles and stuff. Now her twinnie is on the desk, and I bought her like a few years later for $1, and she had her whole outfit. This doll, however, was stark naked, and I even looked on eBay for clothes for her, but I could not find anything in the price range I wanted, and I finally got this outfit. And it even had, like, we mated the shoe together. We had one shoe that came on the other Merida, and then we got one shoe in this lot. So she's even got her armband. We got her quiver thing. And then this is one of my very first Barbies I had as an adult. I got her in the Bratski bin of 2011. So this was one of my very first, like, newer Barbies, like from a time that I didn't grow up with. And I'm calling her Teresa because they just don't label dolls anymore. So she's clearly not supposed to be Barbie. She's clearly supposed to be one of Barbie's friends. And I have several of her bottoms, but none of her tops. And I got a top in this lot. And my other doll, just like her, also now has, you know, she's wearing
bottoms,
but she doesn't have a top still. And then this is my blonde mermaid tail Barbie in the blue bikini that I already had. I got her in the Fashionistas lot of 2014, and I've had her top since I got this doll, but I finally got her bottoms in this lot. And usually I give like my older doll or like the nicer one the complete outfit, if you're wondering how that goes. So like she's my favorite of my two, and also my other one had a chipped eyebrow. And then this is Sparkling Snow White from 09, who I bought her for an Aurora fashion pack, which I totally forgot about until I was rewriting her fun fact. And we got her from Ken Suitcase Guy, actually. Okay, so then these are the dolls that actually came from this haul. So we have Ponytail Madison and Chelsea. They both have really straight hair. And I don't have many clothes that will fit this body mold, so Madison had her outfit, Chelsea didn't. This is a 1960s Tootie dress.
I think it's from 1975.
Yeah, sorry, 75, you're right. Yeah, it's a Tootie dress, it's really old. Then we have Mermaid Tail Ken, who had his outfit. We actually had a spare outfit for him anyways in storage, even if we didn't. And then this is Kid Pix Ken, who looks a lot different than our other Kid Pix Ken from 2011.
Yeah, they both have really nice hair, but their faces are totally different.
Yep, and I did get more of his clothes. We didn't have this outfit before. Then we have Toy Story Ken, who is a hunk.
He's my favorite.
Yeah, and he has like he doesn't have the original Animal Lovin' head mold. He has his own head mold, which is cool. and he had his outfit. And then this is I Can Be Race Car Driving Barbie. Her hair was, woo, so jacked up before, so I had to like fix the thatching, and Colleen put her in this cute outfit, and she has the new body. And then we have Toy Story Barbie. These are her bangs and how they turned out, and she's really happy. And you can't really see, unless you're really looking for it, the few pieces of stubble I couldn't remove. Her hair is still kind of a little gluey, but it's like the glue is dry, so it's just kind of stiff. So that's good. And then we have my mermaid tail Barbie. She is one that goes in the blue bathing suit, but I don't have that. I only had the one to put on my other doll, and they look really different. If you look on my Flickr comparison photos, her face is like squished in a lot more, which is interesting. And then this is the pink bikini mermaid tail doll from 2009, and I actually already had her top. I got it at a local charity store randomly, not knowing what it was, but I like hoard doll clothes. And then I looked on my Flickr and I saw it photographed, and I'm like, yes, because I got her pants. She's really cute. I think she's the prettiest of my mermaid tail Barbies. And then we have Kid Pix Barbie from 2012. So she used to have curly hair, but I straightened it because it's just easier.
She is a really pretty.
And we have a few of her outfits, but this was my favorite on her. I love her like smoky eye makeup. I'm a sucker for Barbies with smoky eyes. This is Kiara, Princess and the Pop Star, the guitar one, and she looks really cute in this fashion pack, which I love. We got this in a bag of doll clothes last year, remember? When you got one of your Stacy's and Skippers?
Oh, yeah.
Then we have the Beast. He's going to swap out on display with my old guy because I can't have them both. I just don't have room, or I'd have one in the Beast costume and one in the Prince, but he's going to go out on display. This Eric doll, yay. He's fabulous. His outfit needed so much work. I had to like melt the edges all on the inside here so they didn't fray. That's what I do on these like cheaper Disney store clothes. I actually did it on this Disney store Tiana dress too a long time ago. And this is Tiana. So she's going to fit on display because there's room on that shelf, and she's actually nicer than my other Tiana doll. My other Tiana doll has like an eye defect. Her like whites are flaking off in her eyes. And then we have Sparkling Cindy. So cute. I had to redo her hair. It's not gluey anymore. And she already had her dress. And this is Sparkling Belle from 09. Much nicer than my other 09 Sparkling Belle, who I bought for this dress, actually, ironically. But she's got a chipped eyebrow. A lot of these dolls from like 08, 09, and on.
Yeah, we recently mated your other Sparkling Belle with her dress.
You have to be careful because they're not painted very nicely. So like whether it's Monster High or Disney or Barbie, any Mattel dolls from that time frame, sometimes even if you gently wash them, if they're not painted right, their eyes will flake off and stuff. It's sad. Then we have Palace Wedding Jasmine. I actually have a veil for her in storage, but that's fine because even if I had her whole outfit, I already have Palace Wedding Jasmine on display in her outfit. So she's wearing this fashion pack, which I also have a nicer version of because I hoard all things Aladdin. I'm going to make her a hair accessory later, but I don't have any hair things I like for her right now. And then this is my horsey, who has really nice hair now. And yeah, so these are all the dolls from the lot. Some of them are pictured on Flickr already. The others will be on there eventually. I'm sorry this video took so long, but there was just so many dolls to grab out of storage and so many little things to do. So,
and with our basement blown apart, it took time.
Yeah, and I had to prioritize that. And these guys were safe because they were upstairs, so it wasn't like they were like not on the priority list. So those are all the dolls. They're all happy. They're all good. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed, and again, I'm sorry this took so long. Until next time, love your dolls, love yourself, and love your life.